Hello everyone, my name is Maggie and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you are a returning viewer. I'm sure you've been like, where the heck is Maggie? And my answer for that is buried under anxiety and work and stress. But hello, I am back. I am trying to create content as often as I can, so thank you so much for bearing with me during this time in which everything is a lot. So by the title of this video, you know what you're watching. I can't even believe that it's been a year since I got my nipples pierced, but it has been. I'm sure YouTube is going to demonetize this video, but that's okay. I'm not making it for the money. I'm making it so that you, wonderful plus-size people, can get your nipples pierced safely, happily, and sexily. So yeah, this video is about getting nipple piercings as a plus-size person, as someone who is plus-size and had a nipple pierced over a year ago. So yes, this video is all about nipple piercings from a plus-size perspective. I'm going to give you some tips, and then I'm going to answer a ton of questions you asked me on my Instagram. So yeah, let's get started. There's a lot to go through. So tip number one is when to get pierced. I always say to get pierced in the summer, because if you get pierced at the end of the summer when you're pretty much done swimming, you can go right into the warmer days of fall and you will be okay. For me, the earliest part of my healing was in November, December, January, which was a very cold and dry time to have salty, dry, crusty nipples. And so I don't recommend that. So definitely get pierced, I would say, towards the end of the summer, or if you don't plan on swimming, then anytime in the spring and summer. Tip number two is to get a piercer who is also fat, just so that they understand your body. And if you can't find a piercer who is fat, find someone who has been recommended by other fat people so they know what they're doing, because big old boobies, big old saggy boobies are different than tiny little perky ones. So definitely take your piercer into account and find someone that is going to know how to pierce your body. Tip three is don't wear too tight of a bra during healing. So there's a ton of information about what you should and shouldn't do while you're healing. But for me, I wore a tight-ish sports bra for the first maybe week or so of healing, and I accidentally ended up kind of almost embedding my piercings into my nipples. Also because the bars were too short, so I did go and have them replaced ASAP. But yeah, don't wear it too tight or it's going to push them into your boob. Wear a padded bra so that there is some a little bit of a barrier, but you don't want anything too constricting. That was definitely a big tip that I wish someone had told me, because I read a lot of stuff about sports bras, but no, don't wear any kind of thick, heavy compression sports bra. Tip four is to have access to your piercer during healing. So as I said, I got my nipples pierced the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and then I went home for Thanksgiving, and I needed my piercer like on Thanksgiving and that Friday, and finally that Saturday I had to go back to Frederick, where I was living at the time, an hour and a half back to where my apartment was, to see my piercer. So don't go getting your nipples pierced in some faraway place, because you're gonna need to go back probably at some point for either a jewelry change or just something. And if you go to the place where you got them pierced, you can either get a free jewelry change with purchase of jewelry, or for me, they swapped out my my barbells for free because the one they put in was too small at first. So be close to your piercer during the first 3 months of healing. Tip five is to just listen to the instructions of the piercer. So you really aren't supposed to have anyone touch your piercings in any capacity until they are fully healed, which can take anywhere between 6 and 12 months. And it's usually 12 months if you have larger chest, just the way it is. So don't let anyone touch them or lick them. I thought it would be a great idea to get them when I did, because I was having no luck dating and I had been single for a while. No one was touching these nipples. And of course, literally the week after, not even the week after, literally within 7 days, I met my partner. So the timing's never going to be right, but just make sure that you listen to the instructions, because they could not touch my nipples for a long time. Now they can, but they couldn't before. And I think that really helped with the healing process. Okay, last tip. Tip number 6 is to use a gentle saline solution. So for a lot of my other piercings, I used H2 Ocean, which is a very strong saline solution, and you do not want to use that on your nipples. For my nipples, I used the NeilMed saline solution. There's a piercing solution. There's just a regular saline solution. I could only find that at Walmart, and it's really cheap, like $5. If you can't find that, I would also recommend the CVS saline solution that's in kind of a spray bottle like you would use for like a cleaner. I did use their kind of aerosol can, but that was way too strong. So make sure you're using a saline solution that isn't too strong, because it will dry out your nipples and it will be very painful. And I had a little lump on one of my piercings for like a month or two, and once I switched over to a less intense saline solution, it went away. So don't go too hard on your nips. Okay, we're 7 minutes in, and those are my tips. So let's get into the questions that you all asked on my Instagram. Do your nipples have to be a certain shape to be pierced? Absolutely not. Anyone's nipples can be pierced. It doesn't matter if they are big or small or inverted. You can definitely get your nipples pierced. How long did the pain last? The pain lasted for the first couple days. It was pretty, there. But then once, the first week, definitely after the first week, maybe first 4 days, it was fine. It was sensitive if I, knocked it on something or touched something, but honestly, my nipples face down. So it was very rare that I would touch something with my nipple. But the most intense part, other than the initial healing, was again, that time in the winter when it was very dry and peely and just like unhappy. So again, please don't get pierced in winter or late fall. Okay? For real. Does it hurt to sleep on your stomach? Yes, you cannot sleep on your stomach for a long time, or maybe ever, after you have your nipples pierced. I am now a back and side sleeper. Before I was a stomach sleeper. So yeah, if you're a stomach sleeper, that will end. But it will be worth it, most likely. How uncomfortable was the healing? It really wasn't that bad. Like I said, for the first 4 days or so, it was pretty wasn't intense, but you're just kind of constantly aware of it. But then after a while, it just kind of becomes part of your life. Of course, if you snag it on something or rip it when it's not if you have crusties on your nipple and you pull it and the crusties pull, it obviously hurts. But if you're gentle with your nipples and very aware of them, then the healing process really wasn't that painful. Are you able to wear bras or bralettes after getting them pierced? Yes, absolutely. I continued to wear bras and do to this day. The only thing you have to be aware of is catching your piercing on a bra. So don't wear anything that is like fishnet or too lacy. Just be aware of that. But yeah, you can pretty much wear anything as long as it doesn't catch your nipples or the barbells. This next question is, does the sag of your boob not in a bra cause any discomfort? For me, no. I know there's some people that when they sit down, their nipple actually touches their stomach, and that can be uncomfortable. For me, although my nips do hang low, they do not touch my stomach yet. There's still time. So that wasn't really a problem for me. But there is one thing to keep in mind if you do have a larger chest that has kind of downward facing nipples, is that my piercer, who was a plus size piercer, which was amazing and accidental, and I would really recommend it to anyone. But she said that when you have a larger chest and downward facing nipples, that your piercing can actually migrate, downwards because of gravity, and it can actually pop out, it can pop through your nipple. So I was so worried about that happening during the whole healing process for the first 2 or 3 months or so. But basically, yeah, it can just migrate and just kind of cut your nipple in half, which we don't want. So, but I was just aware of that. If I saw the jewelry kind of getting close to the surface of the skin, that would be a warning signal, but that never happened to me. I'm not sure how rare it is, but yeah. So no discomfort, but they can migrate. And what was really great about my piercer is that she actually put my piercings a little bit further back behind my nipple than maybe in someone with a smaller chest to give room for that migration that was most likely happening. Did getting my nipples pierced change the sensitivity? Yes. And that was why I went to do it in the first place. So I have had unsensitive nipples my whole life. I've never gotten any pleasure out of them. I had very little feeling in them, and I never really understood why. I thought it was because of the size, but I know there are people with the same size and larger breasts that get tons of pleasure from it. So I don't know, bodies are all different, but I was also dealing with some dysphoria and discomfort with the size of my chest, and I just thought, if I can't enjoy the size and shape of my chest, then I'm going to at least enjoy it for pleasure. And so that's why I went in to get my nipples pierced, was because I wanted to feel something. And it worked. It doesn't work for everyone, but for me it did work. I have much more sensitivity now. I can actually like be stimulated there and feel it in other parts of my body. It definitely like is enjoyable and turns me on, and that is amazing. And I want to keep them forever because of that. So yeah, I would say if you already have not sensitive nipples, it's not a guarantee, but for me, it's worth the risk, or just worth like the money. Not a huge risk, just worth the, worth trying. What was the pain level? Pain level was 8. It was the most painful piercing I've ever had. I think it was, I wasn't sure what to expect because I was so not sensitive there. But I mean, when that needle went through skin, it was like I felt the pain part of my brain light up. Like I was like I had been connected to a part of my body I'd never been connected to before, and it was so painful. And I probably would do it again. But I think it's just because I am just so not sensitive. It certainly hurt, but it was like such a new sensation that it was like, whew. But yeah, it hurts a lot. Are your nipples always hard? No, they are not, but they do get harder more easily. Are nipple piercings hard to clean? Not at all. I literally just squirt it with saline solution. I squirt a clean Q-tip with the saline solution. You just kind of, clean it, making sure there's no more like goopies on there because it does get crusty. Even now, a year later, it gets a little crusty sometimes. But yeah, they're really easy to clean. I'd say easier than an ear piercing that's hard to reach, easier than maybe even a septum piercing. They're super easy. Do nipple piercings hide under clothes or stand out? If you are wearing nothing except for like a shirt, they will stand out. If you're wearing a lightly padded bra, they will not stand out. If you're wearing a bralette, they might stand out. All depends. Again, mine are pretty low, so they might stand out, but it's down here and no one's looking down here for nipples, so it's fine. It really depends on your body. How do piercings work for people with large areolas? They work exactly the same. Your piercer isn't piercing your areola, they're piercing your nipple. So it doesn't really matter how big your areola is, but depending on how big your nipple is, it will change the size of the jewelry that they use. My favorite question is, are nipple piercings cute on droopy boobs? And the answer is absolutely yes. I felt so sexy and confident, and I was obsessed with my boobs, like, once I got them done. I had felt so, like, blah about them before, but once I got them pierced, I was obsessed with them. I just felt, like, I felt so good about myself in a way I hadn't before. I was, like, taking pictures of my chest, and, like, I was just, like, was so into myself, and I had never been that way about my chest. So, yes, they look cute, they look amazing, and don't let that stop you from getting your nipples pierced, because that is not a worry. So that is all of the tips and answers I have to your questions about getting piercings on your nipples as a plus-sized person. If you have any more questions, please leave them in a comment below and I will answer you, I promise. I will leave links to many things in the description box below, including my social media, which is also on the screen now. So go give me a follow on Instagram and Twitter. And I think I'm on TikTok now, so you can go check that out too. Thanks so much for watching. I hope if you do get pierced that you take my tips in mind, and let me know if it works out for you. I love you all so much. Thank you for continuing to support my channel and my content, even if I don't upload a ton, because of circumstances. But I really do appreciate you still being here with me. I hope you have a wonderful entry 2020 and are hoping for a great 2021. So again, thank you so much for continuing to support my content, either on YouTube or Instagram, my blog, whatever. It really means the world to me. So thank you again so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and I will see you next time. Bye.